Antivirus, anti-spyware versus adware bugs and identity theft. In this lesson, we're going to learn about how to protect ourselves from all these mentioned bugs. First of all, it's a good practice to download and use an antivirus. Most of the manufacturers today sell computers with an antivirus already installed. Also, you can find free tools out there such as Malwarebytes. This is one of the best tools to scan your computer for adware and bugs, and it has a free edition, or you can buy a full version or a corporate licensing, but I don't think that would be the case for you. Also, you can use trendmicro.com to get a free scanning tool to download it and use it to scan your computer to detect if you have already been infected. This is a good practice even if you already have an antivirus, to scan it with a second antivirus, which will tell you if you have been infected or not. The third tool would be Bitdefender, and here you can download a free antivirus and it automatically downloads new definition files. So we're going to go to Home Products, to Downloads. We're going to scroll down and we go to Free Virus Removal Tools or Free Tools. I'm going to click on Free Tools, and here you have all the free tools available, including Bitdefender Free Edition. And you can download this free edition and install it on your computer, and you'll be actively protected from viruses, adware, and other type of bugs. Identity theft. Computers are one of the most used gateways for hackers and other malicious people to steal your identity or parts of your identity, like credit card numbers and addresses, social security numbers, and so on. And they can use that for their own benefit, which will cause trouble for you. There's a few tactics that you need to know to protect yourself from identity theft. So, all emails from your bank, PayPal, and other online accounts have to address you by your name, not by Dear Chase customer or Dear Bank of America customer. It's a fraud if you find that. Don't click on links inside of suspicious emails. Use the main website for logging on to your account. Get a credit monitor account. Sometimes it comes as a perk with certain credit cards. Always double check the link in the address bar of your website when you are logging into your credit cards or bank accounts. You shouldn't install any toolbars in Internet Explorer or any other browser. When software asks you to install additional things, don't allow it. All banks, credit cards, and other credential requiring websites have the https:// instead of http://. HTTPS represents a secure connection. There's a few pictures with examples here with HTTPS, with the Chase, Wachovia, and American Express. There's also other articles online that you can read to get more up-to-date knowledge about how to protect yourself, especially from identity theft. But it's always good to have an antivirus or tools available for you to scan your computer and clean it. Here you can see the Malwarebytes anti-malware, which has scanned a computer and found a few infected objects. Sometimes these infected objects are just cookies that websites leave within your temporary internet files to remember you. For example, when you sign into an account, when you go on the second time, you might find that your name is already filled up. That's how websites remember you. Another good way of heightening security for you is to change the internet options. And you can open Internet Explorer, any page, and go to Tools over here, and you go to Internet Options. Internet Options, Security, and from here we can heighten, or we can tighten the security or loosen the security depending on your needs. Sometimes you might need to access websites that require looser security settings, and there's no way to view the website unless you loosen their security settings. If you don't want to access any sites at any time by you or somebody else that might be using your computer, you can add restricted sites to the restricted sites list. To get to the internet options through Control Panel, you just click on Start, select Control Panel, and here you have to look for internet options. There you go. And it's the same window, just different ways to get to it. User profile cleaning and maintenance. To clean up your profile in Windows XP and Windows 7, you need to delete the temporary internet files and the temp files. This is useful to do every month or so, especially before any profile backup. The profile cleaning depends on how much a user uses its computer. To delete temporary internet files, you need to go to Control Panel, Internet Settings, and there under the General tab, you press the Delete button in the middle of the window. Let me show you how. So we're going to use Internet Explorer, go to Tools, Internet Options, General tab, it's already the default tab, and this is the Delete Temporary Files, History, Cookies, Saved Passwords, and Web Form Information. Click on Delete, and here you can select with check marks what do you want to have deleted. Temporary internet files, it's always a good thing to delete. Cookies you can keep, and history in case you want to retrace your step back to an important website that you cannot seem to find anymore. To delete the temporary files from your user profile, you have to go in Windows XP, you have to go to C:\Documents and Settings, your user profile name, in our case would be user, local settings, temp. There you can delete the files that you need. In Windows 7, you have to go to C:\user, your username, app data, local temp. Let's copy and paste this location into our run command, and we have to change your username with our username. In this situation, we're going to press the Windows key plus R key, and we're going to go here, which is already pre-populated for us. App data, local. These are our temporary files. These are setup files that were used for programs to install, and data files that were used temporarily for different programs. You just select all of them and delete them. Sometimes these files are locked and not all of them will get deleted. As you can see here, the action cannot be completed because the folder or file, it is open in another program. So running programs or applications lock these files. So we're just going to skip those. We're going to do this for all current items 7 found. Disk cleanup to clean your user profile. You can use disk cleanup to clean up your user profile automatically. However, it is indicated that you use the manual tools as well, or the manual method as well. So we're going to click on Start, and I'm going to show you how to search. In Windows 7 it's much more easy. We're just going to type in disk cleanup. Let's try just disk. There we go. We have disk cleanup. We're going to click it. It's going to run for us. So disk cleanup has started up. This is the application right here, and this is just a picture in the book. And you can select which type of files you want to have deleted. If you want to clean up the system files, which include some restore points, which we're going to learn about later on in this book, you can click on this button, and we're going to get to the advanced view. So we have the more options tab, and you can free more disk space by removing programs that you don't use. These are programs installed by us, and it's highly unlikely we don't use unless your computer comes from a manufacturer and they always load up your computer with all kinds of nonsensical software that you might want to clean up. The system restore and shadow copies, you can clean those up. System restore creates restore points for your computer to return to settings of a previous date. You might want to keep those. And shadow copies refer to the same document but different versions over different spans of time. So for example, let's say you have a resume that you've been working on it for the last week and you have shadow copies enabled. Every save that you made, it's saved within a different copy of that file, so you can revert settings or undo changes and modifications. Users and profile backup. It is always indicated that you would back up your profile from time to time. As we saw here in Windows 7, we can go and view our profile, which is right here in user, and it is located, and the C drive, users, and this is our user profile, and it has 125 megabytes. It is always good to make another copy of the same folder and then rename it and add a date to it. For example, sometimes it's a very good troubleshooting technique to just rename the actual user profile and then let Windows create a new one to see if a running application that's causing trouble will run properly under a new profile. Or if you already have a backed up user profile, you can rename the backed up user profile to the actual profile name and rename the current user profile to a different name to see if the old profile will cause any trouble to your application. A wildcard is a string of characters by which we search. So if we want to search for a text file and we know the name of the file but we don't know where it is, we can insert the file name plus the extension separated by a period, and we can run our search against the entire computer or against the entire C drive. We can use a wildcard if we don't know what type of file it is. In that case, we don't know the extension, but we know the name of the file. So for that, we can use a file1, for example, with an asterisk extension, which stands for any file type with the name file1. Also asterisk, that asterisk is searching for all files and folders within the computer, which means it will have to go through each and every file. You can also search by a file name with an asterisk and an extension, or just a file name with an asterisk, which will look for the string that contains the first characters, and then it will append any other files, and it will display any other files that contain the first characters in your search query. To search for a file, just open any folder and type in your string to search for, and it has found a few files that contains the name file, and it's going to display all the files that it's going to find. I hope this was easy to understand, and I would like to thank you for viewing. See you next time.